There is a secret hack for promo videos that most creators don't even know about. And because of it, countless hours are wasted trying to edit and create that perfect video. The problem isn't the quality of your shots or even your editing skills, it's your method. Music first establishes rhythm and pacing. B-rolls next can be placed based on that tempo. And the last thing is your Foley that allows you to enhance the look and feel of your shots. This process will help you edit super fast, so watch closely and see the transformation for yourself. Let's do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop my music. So let's just go down, and in the music bin, here's my music. I'm going to just drag and drop that onto the score layer. All right, next, we want to do the B-rolls. So for that, and I'm going to use this footage, and I want this to be playing at the starting of the video, introducing the brand. So I'm going to double click this video. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to press Shift plus right arrow to move by 1 second. I'm going to move by about 5 seconds. I'm going to press O, and I'm going to take this clip and drop it into video 2. Next, I'm going to select all my interview clips, and I'm going to move this by about 3 seconds. And we're going to move all this over here. I want this graphics to be there at the end of the video as well. So I'm going to just click this, press Option or Alt in Windows, and then left click and drag and create a duplicate. And I'm going to place this at the end. Over here, if you see that I'm at the 3 second mark, I'm going to press Shift plus right arrow. And then having this selected, I'm going to press W to trim out. So it's going to be forming a nice J cut at the start. Next. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just mute my music. And then I'm going to go ahead to the second portion of the video.
To local schools, and we've donated over 100,000 lunches so far.
Over here, drag select everything, or you can even press Option Y and it'll select everything forward from the playhead. Be sure to deselect the music. We don't want that to be changed. In fact, I'm going to lock this layer because I don't want it to be changed or moved around. That's sitting perfectly fine. And I'm going to move this to about 3 seconds forward. So Shift plus right arrow, I'm going to do that thrice. And I'm going to move these clips over here. Then I'm going to go over here, and then I'm going to go 2 seconds forward and a few frames back. And I'm going to select everything ahead of this. And I'm going to start this over here. Now, we have these gaps over here and over here. We're going to make sure that the B-roll dominates. All right, now, so we're done with the interview layers, and we don't want to fidget or move it around by mistake. I'm going to just lock the dialogue layers over here. I'm going to do the same with the video one as well. Now we're going to do just one last thing, which is I'm going to go over here. I'm going to unmute the music, time slider all the way back to 0. I'm going to open my inspector, and then I'm going to click over here. And then you get this ducker option. It's all grayed out. That's because the layer is locked. So I'm going to unlock it, and I'm going to enable ducker. I'm going to select the source one as dialogue, and I'm going to make the duck level 9. That way what happens is every time the dialogue is playing, the music automatically recedes.
My name is Chris Lang, and I'm the founder of Oregon Mountain Outfitters. We are located in our store in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Oregon Mountain Outfitters is a...
So this is what we want. Now we've done that, so we can now lock the layer. Now, since we have the music playing in the background, now we have some tempo. Based on that tempo, we're going to add our B-rolls. So what I've done over here, if you go into the B-rolls bin, I've created another folder where I've created sub-clips of each B-roll that I'll be using for this particular video. In this folder, you can see all the sub-clips, and you can see over here that there's an in and out point for every sub-clip. So every time I drag and drop a B-roll, you'll see only that much coming into the video. So when it comes to adding B-rolls, I like to listen to what the person is saying, and based on what they are talking, that's exactly the type of B-roll that I choose and I put on top over there.
My name is Chris Lang, and I'm the founder of Oregon Mountain Outfitters. We are located in our store.
So he says we are located in our store. So over there, I have this nice footage, and I'm going to drag and drop this footage where this person is pointing to the map. I'm going to add that over here. And when he says store, I'm going to add a B-roll of the store, just like that. So since he talks about the feeling that the brand gives or the clothing gives, this is a B-roll shot of one of their shirts. So I'm going to just drag and drop this over here. And then over here,
Lifestyle and outdoor brand.
So there's a nice outdoor shot of a couple of people just chilling at the beach. So I'm going to drop this over here.
Lifestyle and outdoor brand that not only promotes the outdoors, but also...
I have another clip of Ward showing a shirt. So let me just drag and drop this over here. And again, he talks about outdoors. So I think I have one more clip of them just chilling on the beach. So let me just drag and drop this over here. So you can see how quickly and easily it is when you have sub-clips, especially for your B-rolls.
Not only promotes the outdoors, but also gives back at the same time to our communities.
So when he says communities, I want to put this clip at that same point. So there's a nice audio sync. And I'm going to just extend this to about there. And over here, I'm going to just select this handle and I'm going to give a nice little fade out to this clip.
And so with every purchase, we donated lunch to local schools, and we donated over 100,000 lunches so far.
So that way it has a nice flow from the B-rolls back to the A-rolls. So over here, I'm going to choose a nice shot of this lady looking out into the horizon. I'm going to drag and drop this over here, and I'm going to extend this to about there, so that there's a nice little J-cut once again coming into the timeline. And after this, he's talking about when he first started and how they began. So I have this nice little shot of person basically designing their logo. So I'm going to put this over here. So just move this a little bit forward. Now here he talks about being able to connect. So I have this nice shot of this person just touching the rocks. So let's drag and drop that over here. And I'm going to trim this over here by pressing W. Over here, I have this one more clip of this person just walking in the same area. Let's just add that over here.
Being able to connect and
Yes, just trim that out. And I'm going to add this clip over here.
and hear their stories and tell.
And over here, I'm going to just press W and trim this back in. And over here, I'm going to use this shot.
That's what really inspires us. And we take that inspiration and we bring it back to the store. And that's really where the design process starts.
Now it's abruptly kind of cutting back to the main A-cam shot. So I'm going to add a nice fade out over here as well. Now over here, I want this clip to be the next B-roll that's going to appear at this gap. And over here, I'm going to do a continuity sync. So I'm going to press W and I have another shot of the same guy. So I'm going to just drag and drop this over here. So that way it looks like it was a continuous shot.
So how do we embody that?
Like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just unlock the video. I want this to kind of fade in. It shouldn't be like a jump cut. So I'm going to have a fade in of about 1 second. So I'm going to press Shift plus right arrow over here. Let's just move this a little bit forward like that. In this clip, I just want to extend this to about where my time slider is right now. So this is the way I want the B-roll to start over here.
Where the design process starts. So how do we embody that? The only way to do that is to...
Now over here, let's add a couple more B-rolls. So let's add this B-roll over here. And here, I'm going to just trim this clip.
The only way to do that is to...
So I'm going to press W and I'm going to add this clip over here.
Is to experience it. And that's why...
And I'll trim this over here by pressing W. And let's just add a nice fade out for this as well, like that. So you can see that the B-rolls are sort of starting with a nice fade in and then ending with a nice fade out. Okay, so the last B-roll clip, I'm going to add it at that particular beat that you can hear over here, where the guitar plays basically. So I'm going to go to that change of when that guitar is playing over here. And I'm going to press M for adding a marker. I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to unlock these two layers. I'm going to select this layer and hit W. And I'm going to just move this a little back. Let me just extend this to about 55 seconds. So over here at this particular portion, once again, I'm going to lock these audio layers. And here I'm going to add a B-roll of people entering the store so that it kind of nicely finishes or wraps up the story visually. So it kind of feels like a nice end to the video like that. And we want to trim this a little bit forward over here. I'm going to hit W and trim this. And I'm going to give a fade out about 1 second over here. So that's how easy it is to add B-rolls if you follow this method. And that's the reason why music goes first, then you add your B-rolls. And now we're going to do the last thing, which is we're going to quickly add our Foley. So I've created a Foley bin, and inside of this, I've done the same thing. I've listened to each audio sound and I've marked in and out, and I've created sub clips. So inside this SFX bin, you have all your Foley sounds. So let's quickly add that onto the timeline. Now, the first thing you want to do is we're going to add a ducker to our Foley layers as well. So let me just go over here and click over here, and I'm going to enable ducker. I'm going to set this to dialog. I'm going to do the same for all the other Foley layers as well. Now this way, whenever we add Foley sounds, we'll make sure that the Foley sounds don't compete with the dialogue of the person who's being interviewed. Now we have the audio from the footage itself. So let's use that when it's possible. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this, and I'm going to crank this up all the way to about 30 because it's very, very low. And over here, I'm going to crank this up to about 17. I think 17 would be better. So let's just listen to this.
Outfitters, we are located in our store in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Organ Mountain Outfitters.
Now, before we add any more Foley sounds, let me just quickly lock this Foley layer because we don't want any Foley sounds to fall on top of whatever audio sounds are naturally there with the B-roll clips. So over here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose this interior Foley sound. So I'm going to just drop this over here. So when it changes to the exterior, I'm going to just trim this out. And if you can't really hear this, I'm going to just crank up the volume a little bit. I'm going to just solo this track and then you can hear it. Remember, adding Foley is like adding layers to a cake. You want to build the story. Now over here, I want to add an exterior Foley sound. So I'm going to drag this over here and I'm going to just increase the volume of this a little bit. So I'm going to just extend this to about there. And over here, I'm going to just add one more thing. I'm going to add this slow whoosh. Just increase the volume a little bit and I'm going to unlock this layer and I'm just going to increase the volume of the natural audio that was there in the shot. Then I'm going to lock it back and then over here I'm going to add an outdoor crowd sound. It's a little bit too loud, so you can just reduce that a little bit. Let's just open up this mixer so that we can hear the audio levels.
An outdoor brand that not only promotes outdoors but also gives back at the same time to our community that we live in.
Make that a little bit less. Next, let's just quickly add another Foley sound for this. Option, select this exterior atmosphere and I'm going to drag a duplicate, add this over here. I'm going to extend this till about there. And the same way, I'm going to just go back here and you can see that the video starts fading out. And I'm going to do the same with the audio as well. So that kind of feels like the audio and the video go together. And I'm going to just curve this a little bit so that there's a nice fade off. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to increase this a little bit. Next, let's go over here and I'm going to just drag this by pressing Option plus left arrow and create another duplicate. And we don't want this fade out. So we want this to be cutting over here. And here, basically, there's a mouse click that's happening on screen. There is a Foley sound of, well, pen clicking. So we're going to just drag this and we're going to sync it to when the visual goes off there. So we're going to just keep this over here. Next, let's go over to this shot. Now here again, we want the exterior atmosphere Foley. I'm going to just cut this to about there. Now we want this Foley sound to sound like 3 different Foley sounds. So for that, what we're going to do is I'm going to go over here. I'm going to hit Command K and cut this. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to hit Command K and cut it again. Now to make that change, we can go over here in the audio inspector and I'm going to reduce the sound of the semitones to about -3. I'm going to improve the sense to about 4. Now why am I doing that is because it's going to change the same audio and make it sound a little bit lower like this. So I'm going to solo this track out. So there's a little bit of a difference even though it was the same Foley sound. And I'm going to do the same thing over here as well. This time I'm going to just improve the semitones and the sense. And here I'm just going to add a little bit of a pan. Like that. Next, for this shot, I want the interior atmosphere sound because this is a shot of this person inside the store. I'm going to use this clip, the interior atmosphere Foley, and I'm going to just improve that a little bit. And I'm going to just extend this to till about here. And you can see that it's kind of fading out over here. So I'm going to do the same with the audio as well, like that. And over here, where we have the J cut to the exterior, once again, I'm going to add an exterior atmosphere sound. And this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this till about there. I'm going to improve the volume to about that much. And at this cut, once again, I'm going to hit Command K. And since it's fading in, I'm going to go into the fade in point over here. I'm going to do the same thing with the audio. And just bring this down a little bit. And to change this so that it doesn't feel or sound like the same thing, once again, I'm going to go into the semitones and I'm going to reduce this to about -4 and the sense to about -7. So this is how it will sound. Now for this, I'm going to use this exterior atmosphere birds Foley and I'm going to add this over here. I'm going to just improve the volume of this so that I can see where the audio is. I'm going to trim it in and I'm going to press W and trim it out. So let me just solo that track as well. And one more thing I'm going to add over here is this boots on ground Foley. Let me just go in and sync this. I'm going to make a cut here. So the foot is landing over here. So there needs to be another Foley sound. So I'm going to just trim this and I'm gonna align this with this. So let's see how it sounds. And the last portion, which is extending a little too much, we can just trim it out by hitting W. Now the last one, so for this, we can just use the exterior ambience sound, and I can just crank this up a little bit, and I'll just hit W and trim it out. And since this is fading out, I'm going to fade out the audio as well. Now for this B-roll, since it's a shot of the store, once again, we can use the outdoor crowd, and over here, I'm going to hit W and go back 1 second, and I'm going to once again just fade this out as the video fades out as well. So now I'm going to show you the before and the after. That means before we added the music and the B-rolls and the Foley, and after we added the 3 of them.
My name is Chris Lang, and I'm the founder of Warrior Mountain Outfitters. We are located in our store in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
And this is how the video looks after we made these changes.
My name is Chris Lang, and I'm the founder of Warrior Mountain Outfitters. We are located in our store in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Warrior Mountain Outfitters is a lifestyle and outdoor brand that not only promotes the outdoors, but also gives back at the same time to our communities that we live in. And so with every purchase, we donated lunch to local schools, and we donated over 100,000 lunches so far. First started in 2016. I designed the logo that braces our brand today. Being able to connect and hear their stories and tell our stories, and that's what really inspires us. And we take that inspiration and we bring it back to the store, and that's really where the design process starts. So how do we embody that? The only way to do that is to experience it, and that's why we say experience the Southwest.
And that's why you add music first, B-rolls next, and the last but not least, you add the Foley sounds for your B-rolls. So I hope you learned something. I hope you realized how quickly and easily you can add these elements and completely transform your video by following these steps. Now that we have added our music, B-rolls and Foley sounds, next I'm going to show you a hack that many beginners forget to do, but the pros never miss. So I'll see you in the next video.